T. It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk a little Challenge Youth Conference in Pigeon Forge 2025, which is still crazy to say that number as we're getting used to the new year. And before you know it, it'll be 2026 and the conference will be back around again. But nonetheless, we're going to get in that conversation along with Will the Thrill Mahan after these important messages. This episode of the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast is presented by Faulkner University. Faulkner University is a private Christian liberal arts university based in Montgomery, Alabama, with a mission to provide an education anchored by not only intellect, but also character and service. The Faulkner experience aims to educate the whole person. Every individual matters every day. We all want to become better versions of ourselves. No one wants to remain trapped where they are because of missed opportunities and unrealized dreams. At Faulkner University, we believe your dreams don't have an expiration date. We understand that you're looking for more than a degree. You want to find your niche and thrive in your career. Whether you're a high school senior just beginning your trek or an adult student looking for a better path, Faulkner is here to help guide your journey. Go to faulkner.edu to apply or get more info. That's faulkner.edu. I'm Travis Creasy, the pulpit minister at Riverside Church of Christ in Fayetteville, Tennessee, also the campus minister there at Riverside Christian Academy. That's all pro counselor Ben Hayes with 3-Chord Counseling in Muscle Shoals, also the pulpit minister at Highland Park Church of Christ in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. How are you, Ben?
Doing pretty good today. I thought we had entered spring, and then all of a sudden we have winter again. It feels like outside. It's kind of been a cool morning, but it's nice. Good to be on here with you guys, and good to be talking a little bit about one of our most wonderful times of the year, CYC. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Ben hit a home run at worship this morning. Things were really, really good. Singing was good. Sermon was good. So we've been cleaning the house, getting ready for the youth group tonight. So it's just been a great day. So I get to take a break from cleaning to hang out with you guys. So what better excuse could I give to Lindsay?
Yeah. So it was nice and warm here. Nice and warm here in Tennessee till about 3-point with the last second left. And then it turned really cold and it hasn't been the same since. But I'll take the sunshine despite the Vols hurting my feelings yesterday. But nonetheless, it is a good week. Been a good week. Great weekend. It was, Ben, I want to tell you, I think it was a little overwhelming for me. I was a little overwhelmed at the support of the Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Worry Coaster, and then the pre-orders for the Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Joy Rider. Man, just a ton of people there showing love and support. And, not that we don't get that every year we go, but this year it just seemed off the charts. And maybe it's because Jacob Hennigan was there and everybody loves the Pizza Man. But wow.
They do love the Pizza Man, and it was a fun weekend. And yeah, it's kind of overwhelming to see how people respond to things. And we had a lot of folks come by the booth. A lot of folks wanted to talk, and a lot of folks just wanted to see Jacob. So there was that. But we were happy about it because I don't know what our numbers were last year that we pre-sold, but there was a lot of pre-sales. But then we sold a bunch more this year. And knew we would with some in hand, but it just seems like a lot of support that it, warms my heart a little bit to know that we got that much support. So,
yeah, like 111 pre-orders, I believe. And then we went with, I think it was 140 copies, and we sold like 77 or something crazy like that. And that's not counting the 20 or so pre-orders for the Joy Rider, which was fun to reveal that cover. And I love the fact that we got Will here because he kind of has not only does he get the pregame production for Ben and Travis stuff, so he's kind of in on that, but then he also gets to see it from really the angle that it's meant to be seen from, the youth minister, youth group. It is Challenge Youth Conference that I sometimes have to remind people, especially adults, when they complain about certain aspects. You got to remind them, well, it's Challenge Youth Conference
for the kids,
for them. And so if it's not exactly to your liking, just understand that's too bad. So sad. It's really for the youth, but I think it is a situation where anybody who goes can benefit from it, Will. So you tell us I hadn't had a chance to even talk to you about it. So it's good.
Yeah, we're finally rested up. I have figured out each year these trips get a little bit harder, I guess, with age. And so, but Lindsay went, and if she can do it pregnant, then, I can't complain. But I thought things went really, really well, at least for our group. I think we've kind of got it down to a science a little bit. We do the same thing every single year because it's worked so well for us. We're the annoying group that's always there an hour and a half early before everybody else. And so it's kind of cool because this year Cameron Mann went with us. And of course, Jacob sat with us one of the sessions. But it's cool to hear them make fun of the middle schoolers for having to get there an hour and a half early because they themselves did it when they were 7th and 8th graders. So I guess the tradition has just been passed down to where we can't stop it from getting there so early. But overall for us, I mean, things went great. Our group loved it. Speakers were wonderful. The one thing that we always kind of debate on is, do we go back on Sunday morning or do we have our own thing in the cabin? And could not be more thankful that we went back on Sunday morning because David Shannon if Ben hit a bomb this morning, David Shannon hit a grand slam because it was just, it was phenomenal. But the thing I love the most about our group was you would go, hey, who really enjoyed Chris Miller? And you would have 7 or 8 that would go, well, Chris was my favorite. And then several would say, well, Brad Montague was my favorite. And a few said Craig was, and then Lonnie was, and then David was. So it was just, I thought Larry and the board did a really, really good job of picking speakers that were all kind of different. I think that appealed to different personalities. And so that's always a blessing to me. I always feel like it's a really good year if our group comes back and a fourth of them loved this speaker, the other fourth loved this speaker, and everybody was able to engage really, really well with one person. I just think that benefits the group as a whole. Of course, it was always fun to see y'all and Jacob up there, doing y'all's gig and everything. The videos were great. I never thought Jacob Hennigan would be the first youth group member to lead 12,000 people in a fun song, or fun sing. So we figured that would be somebody else. But we're glad that it's Jacob and that he's getting the recognition that he deserves for everything that he's done. So weather, in our opinion, couldn't have been better. I know going up there, people were like, it's going to be 4 degrees. And it actually turned out to be like 35 to 40, 50 a little bit. Just a beautiful weekend. So not a lot of sleep. I think the first night my watch said I had 3 hours of sleep. Second night was 5 hours, so.
And then you chased it down with 2 trips to Birmingham and a trip to a Predators game in Nashville the following week. So
yes.
Why not?
Welcome to youth ministry, right? Yeah. Supporting people all over the Southeast. But it was a really great weekend from us. We had a girl give her life to Jesus as soon as we got back Sunday night. Boom. So any trip that ends like that is a major success for us.
Sign me up for it. You're talking about lack of sleep, and I got sleep, so I'm not saying, I got a little less because I was game planning. Every time I went back, I was getting ready for the next day and trying to make sure we were getting all our books slung out to those people who pre-ordered. But one of the cool things about our sponsor, Magic Mind, is, I was hitting those up all weekend long. I didn't have to stand in a coffee line, which is great because Magic Mind had me on my toes the whole time I was dropping those things down. And so, I just appreciate that because there's not really a whole lot of downtime. There's not a lot of time to be jittery. There's not a whole lot of time to have a crash in those moments. So Magic Mind was great. So magicmind.com/BAT20 up to 48% off your initial subscription. It's free to cancel, easy to cancel. You can do it via text message. But you're not going to want to do that because, I've been rocking them ever since because I've been a zombie trying to get caught up. So I always like to hear from the real MVPs, the youth ministers who work the weekend. And, that's awesome about our new Christian friend that has given their life to the Lord. So that's pretty awesome and cool. And that's what we want. And I don't know what the final number was. I think I shared the post from CYC, but it was easily double digits.
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, in the 30s maybe?
No, I think it was 56, wasn't it? 56 baptisms.
Man,
awesome.
I'll look it up real quick while y'all chat.
Yeah, so I didn't get to hear a whole lot of the speakers because Jacob and Anna Kate and I were rotating out who was sitting at the tables. But all I've heard is great. I mean, it's an all-star lineup. I mean, the lineup I saw, I have no doubt that it was a great speakers. And of course, I always love the singing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's so good. I felt like I kind of missed a lot this year, but there was a lot of people who were coming out to, they come out on breaks, or when they give them the break, they stayed a little longer out on the breaks and, end up having good conversation and sometimes just fun conversation. Sometimes, got into some more in-depth stuff because we open up this whole, mental health conversation on the podcast, and we opened it up in the book, and a couple of people, talked to us about that. And a couple of others were just kind of sharing where they were from. There was a young kid from Washington State. I was trying to remember if they got a book or not, because I thought we could, check that one off the states that we've talked about that have one, but I don't know if he got one. But they stood and talked for a long time. And I thought it was really cool that they had come from that far to be with us for CYC. Just said it was something they needed, just a shot in the arm. And so I think it was an aunt or somebody flew him down to be with us. So I thought that was a pretty cool conversation too.
Talking about going the distance, we had somebody in our Facebook group this week talk about they were from Scotland, and they were hitting up the Helping Healing Humor every episode from the beginning, and talk about the real MVP. That was a pretty good boost in the arm and all that stuff. And you come back, you're tired. I know that when I was a kid, I'd go to camp all week, spend the week praising the Lord, staying up too late, talking to guys like Ben and, counseling guys like Will, trying to get them where they're supposed to be. But, the temptation is you're tired, you come back and maybe you don't act so much like Jesus like you should. And so I know that that's probably been a struggle for not only just me, but many out there. But it's totally worth the boost in the arm that you get from seeing that many people. And that's just a drop in the bucket of, what heaven's going to be like. It's going to be longer than 48 to 72 hours. And I think that's a little hard to even touch base with while we're here on this earth.
That's hard to wrap your mind around.
The final numbers I just found. So contribution was over 56,000 and 55 baptisms. So, and then there was a lot of rededications, just people recommitting that aren't even numbered out there. So I would assume that, I know not everybody went forward, but if you were there, you were impacted, and you were definitely challenged. So I would assume that's got to be in the thousands, at least from that standpoint of just what a weekend that with that many people, what it really does do. And I think that's why you have ultimately so many adults that do show up, even though it's kind of tailored toward the teens. Man, it is awesome to know that you're in the midst of that many like-minded people. And so, man, if you've never been and you're listening, you're missing out, because it's a wonderful thing, even being tailored to, maybe the younger people in the church. But if you're there and can be a part of it, you'll be impacted for sure.
It's contagious. The youth, the energy from all those young people will rub off on you. Yep. It probably isn't the only thing that's contagious at CYC, but it's worth taking your chances on the other stuff to be there.
No.
Well, in our group, we had, I guess, the first time we've ever done it. You've taken college age kids before with our group, but they actually went as a whole separate college age, got a cabin, did their own thing separately. I don't think Jonathan, who's kind of worked with that age group for a long time, I don't think he'd ever been to CYC. So it was his first time to ever come. And they seemed to have a great time too. So
we had around 55 of us from Highland Park. I even pitched the idea. I said, why don't we do a huge cabin for the whole church? And some of the college age looked at me and were like, I don't know if I need to be in the same cabin as a middle schooler. So may have gotten rejected there, but I tried. I said, we're all part of the church, but
Yeah.
I don't know how well. They didn't want to hear me getting up at 4:45 with a bunch of teenagers.
That's exactly what they were just like.
What it was.
Hey, parents and young adventurers, are you ready to embark on an extraordinary journey? Introducing The Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Worry Coaster, a thrilling ride through the ups and downs of mental health in our new children's book. Join our dynamic duo as they navigate the twists and turns of their emotions while discovering the courage to conquer their worries. Pre-order your ticket to adventure now at benandtravis.com/books and be among the first to embark on this roller coaster of resilience. Let's turn worry into wonder and empower kids to embrace their feelings with bravery and hope. Buckle up. It's going to be an unforgettable ride. All right, guys. For the Adventures of Ben and Travis children's books, yes, I said plural books. We have the Worry Coaster and now pre-ordering for the Joyrider. You can do that at benandtravis.com/books. Question of the day. We're not going to make you pick a speaker because that's going to be hard, or a favorite song leader. That will be difficult, and we might hurt some feelings. But if you're thinking just straight up, we won't talk about necessarily spiritual aspects. What is a highlight? Maybe something funny, maybe a conversation you had with somebody. I'm going to, if I can toot my own horn, I'm going to go with it's like gang signs for church members. About the VBS songs in the video. I don't know if I came up with that line or Ben came up with that line, but I love that one. He got a nice little chuckle. That or the Go Vols when a questionable, impaired judgment where I got booed by at least, I would say, half the crowd. So you're looking at 6,000 people, which is a great thing for me. Check that off the bucket list.
Well, I've got a lot of really cool times. I think we went and ate one night. I guess it was Thursday night. Travis, you and Lonnie and my kids and everybody, we kind of went and ate out together. I think it was Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
I think that was one of those. It was just kind of a fun night. I think kind of piggybacking off of that, doing everything on Friday or doing SWAT on Friday was kind of a highlight for me, because then I could enjoy Saturday. I'm always so amped up and nervous about SWAT, just remembering what we got to say and do and all that kind of stuff, that I just get a little bit tense all weekend. And so when we got done on Friday night, I felt like there was this massive load lifted off of my shoulders. And all we had to do was be really stupid the next morning with Fun Sing. And I thought it was just kind of
way more natural than it should.
It really does. Yeah. Yeah. So, Will, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always cool having the kids that have graduated and like Cameron. Of course, Cameron's out of college now or going back to college to do weird stuff like my brother over there at the funeral home. But to see them come back and actually lead within the group, as a chaperone, I think is always just a really neat experience to see them kind of take interest in some of the middle schoolers, because the high schoolers still look at them as, not being that much older than them. But some of our middle schoolers have never been around Cam. And he had a really, really big impact on him or on them. And so I think that that's a lot of fun and just a sense of fulfillment, I think, for any youth minister to see their kids that have grown up in their group continuing to do really, really big things for the kingdom. And then every year, I just think it's hilarious to see y'all autograph people's arms, books, and when I walked out to the table, I was like, hey, y'all need to get their autographs. And I just love to kind of ag it on a little bit where these kids are just, I just think it's hilarious, and it amazes me that, once again, Blake and I are in a stupid dodgeball countdown and people are like, you were the one on the screen. And I'm just going, wow, y'all have such low expectations.
Get out more
of what impresses you people, that it's just, or, the middle schoolers remembering that Blake last year quoted Taylor Swift. it is mind boggling to me. And maybe that's because I get to hang out with y'all, and you're not that big of a deal, after I've known you for so long. But I love it because I love seeing those young people go, hey, here are people that I think are huge deals. And it's not the LeBron Jameses or, whatever football player, it is.
People, yeah.
But they're coming up and going, hey, I want their autograph. And I'm going, you couldn't pick a better role model, for your life. And so I love it. It makes me laugh on the inside when, Travis is over here signing a kid's arm with a Sharpie because the kid's like, I've got to have it, so I love it.
We had some interesting autographs this year because it was either lanyards, like you said, notebooks. And then there was this kid that had this amazing setup, and y'all might have seen it on, I think Travis shared it, but he had this camera with this plastic lens on the front of it that he had taped on there. And he said, sign your autograph. So he's got like, it focused on us and you can see us signing over the screen. And that was a pretty cool little deal, but he was just like, I'm getting everybody to do it. And so I guess he sent you the video, Travis. I don't know.
Yeah, he sent me a clip on Instagram. It took me a couple of times to get it right, but he did send it. And, something I think about, and I know that Larry he has a board that helps him do it, but I know that he carries a lot of that. And I'm sure that he gets to hear a lot of the complaints. And we oftentimes joke about Larry.Davenport@CYC, which is not a real email. So don't email us going, you lied to us. It's a joke, people. Learn how to laugh a little. Get over yourself. But, any chance you get to encourage Larry, I know that he's not somebody who runs off of that. He doesn't need that to do what he does. But we all like a pat on the back and an attaboy, him and JJ and any of the board members. If you see those people, really let them know how much you appreciate, because there are going to be hiccups. There's going to be things that go off the wall, especially if you hand me a microphone. But they just keep showing up. They keep working, and they know that it impacts the kingdom. And the crazy thing about that is that we won't know the impact. I don't know that we ever will know. We may have a better idea one day, but a tremendous impact. And really anybody out there who's doing the best they can with working with people and ministering to people. And so I certainly appreciate you guys. I appreciate Larry and JJ and all the board members that make it happen, have been making it happen, obviously through the power of God for 25 plus years, which is insane to think about. But guys, I appreciate your time jumping on here, talking a little CYC. Love getting to see you guys, and don't get to see you enough, to be honest. So CYC and camp and different things are great events just because I get to see y'all's handsome faces out there.
Well, it's a pleasure to be able to be on here with you guys. And of course, I want to go ahead and shout out to Sonny Owens and Jackie, Josh Webster and Carrie, Matt Hupel, and Leah. I think I got it. I think that's everybody on the board, but we appreciate you guys and all the work that you guys do towards just a great event. And we're just thankful to be able to be there.
Man, you're gutsy trying to get all the names, man. That's nice. That's nice. I'm glad you have that kind of memory. But we'll talk to you all soon. Take it easy.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.